Good evening, everyone, and welcome. We are going to be talking about what it takes to be mentally strong as a person. There are 15 ways that we can get going. This is based on an article by Daily Motivation, and we want to honor them. Today, Dr. Justine realizes there could be lots of questions, and we want you to be able to connect with her. Feel free to give her a text at any point if you have any questions or need additional information. I wanted to welcome Dr. Justine with us here today. She's our leader here at Justine Blainey Wellness Center, and she is a community volunteer. She works extensively in women's hockey. She is a motivational speaker, both at schools, universities, local businesses, and in charities. Her main goal is to provide the best care for you and your family to get the best version of yourself. Please help me welcome Dr. Justine.
Hello, everyone. This is a topic that I am so excited about. But upcoming, we have so many topics every single week, and our goal is for you to learn one new thing every week. So at the end of the year, you've made 50 changes. That's huge. So we don't have to do it all at once, but every time we just try and take one new thing that we can apply every week. So coming up, we're asking about, are you feeling hungry all the time or hangry? That could be me sometimes or my husband. So what is best for you? We have with Tristan hip mobility, how to loosen up those hips, which helps your lower back. We do have a dine with Doc coming up. It is in person at the restaurant, so you do need to register at the front desk to reserve your seat for that. And then we're talking about how to increase your muscle mass. I did talk to a patient just this week whose husband fell down but was not able to get back up, and she's too small to be able to lift him. So I literally had to call the ambulance to lift him back up and get him back on his feet and into a chair. So important that we are working on maintaining our strength as we age. And that starts in your 30s, 40s, and 50s. We don't wait till our 80s. So great topics coming up, but today we're focusing on mental health. Now, this is 15 different things. These are writer downers. We're not going to get everything every single day. Even if you wrote down all of them, it's probably a little bit overwhelming. So my goal is you write down the list and then maybe try to work on one a week, right? Choose one to start this week and write it down. The more you write it down, the more you commit to it. Even write it down and then put it where you brush your teeth. So that's something that you see on a daily basis. So we're talking about when the tough gets going, right? The tough the going gets tough, the tough get going. So we're getting ourselves ready to manage challenges. So certainly something that's close to home, being a business owner, being a mom, being a wife, being a sister, being a friend. Like we all wear so many hats, and sometimes challenges they come your way. Now, certainly as a teenager dealing with my court case to play hockey, there were some tough times, to be hated when I went to the rink, hated when I went to school, hated by teachers. It just felt like everywhere I went, was a slap in the face. So one of the best things that my mom said was, when things are tough, if you want to quit, always quit after a good night's sleep. Decide what it is, put it aside, put it on the bedside, put it aside, sleep, and decide in the morning. And it always helped me to be better rested. Now, we do have so many talks on stress because sometimes it's just so hard to put the baggage down. So, usually writing it down in a journal, talking it into your phone, um, giving yourself that visualization to put the baggage down because you cannot fix anything in your sleep. Put it down and know that you can regroup and grab it in the morning to make a better decision. So when the talking about these tough times, we know that everybody's going to be served lemons, and it's how we make that lemonade, right? So just give you an example. A patient came in just last week, severe arthritis all the way through. Do x-rays. He's had spinal surgery, so he's got lots of hardware. And this is severe, and I did refuse to do any treatment until I saw the x-rays, until I knew how I could work safely and effectively. So by refusing care until I had all the information online, he decided, because I refused care, to say that I was a voodoo doctor. Now, that hurt. Here I am trying to do my very best, make sure I provide the safest, best care possible, the best references, and make sure I don't rush into anything. So he had to wait a day to get his x rays, to get the information for a problem that he's had easily 30 years. I was called a voodoo doctor. Now, obviously doesn't know our education, that we have to have university plus another 4 years after that, doesn't know the rigorous testing and regulations for all doctors, including chiropractors. He's just not aware. But isn't that the case when any of us are insulted or put down? Someone doesn't understand this. It often comes from a place of ignorance. And we have to realize that sometimes these are baggages, these are insults that we need to have a short memory, right? Sometimes it's just a matter of take it in stride. It's a body check in the game, and you fall down, it hurts, you get back up, and you get going, right? We all get lemons thrown our way, and it's how we just adjust, adapt, and move on. So today we're talking about 15 ways to manage those stressors, those insults, those hits that we take at work, at home, even with our kids. I remember my son at one point saying, "I don't like you." And oh my God, my heart was just broken. What do you mean? Like, I'm getting up 4 o'clock, do all your lunches, and make sure I can do everything the best I can. And that's the thing he decides to say to me because I won't give him, the sugar thing that he wants, right? So those things just hurt so bad. How do we move on? So that's the focus today. We're going to start with 15 ways to be mentally strong. Get a pen, get a pencil. These are writer downers. Put it into your phone. Focus on just one this week. Hopefully, every week we can focus on another. So let's start with detaching ourselves. Just like I said, when people make insults, most of the time it comes from ignorance, or when people try to push you to get more done at work or more done at home, likely they don't know what you did that day or what's happening inside. Or, as a female, maybe you have menstrual cramps, maybe you have back pain, maybe you have a headache that day, maybe you're just feeling depressed that day. They don't know. They can't see those things on the outside, like if you had a cast or a brace. So sometimes these events are happening, and we need to make sure we don't waste time in that wallowing, in that stress. We've got to have that short term memory. We've got to move on and go to say, what's next, right? What's next? This isn't something that I'm going to spend energy on. I'm just going to drop that bag off my shoulders, leave it at the front door, leave it in the car. And sometimes that's literally visualizing that, whew, it's in the car, I'll get it in the morning. I'm not bringing it into my home where that stress can go on. So when we get into number 2, they motivate themselves. The tough people, the mentally strong people motivate themselves. They let go of limiting beliefs. Now, this is super hard. First is just recognizing what your limiting belief is. And I'll give you an example. For me, a limiting belief is I'm not good at computers. And my kids would probably agree with you. Anytime something gets tough, I want to call on them for help. But right now they've moved out. So there is no, young person to call for help at home. And guess what? I can figure it out, right? I can get help on the phone. I can Google and ask for a video for help. If I want to do something with the plants in the garden, I can video and figure out what 2 plants go together or how to help that plant grow better. There is so much support out there. So some of the ways to deal with limiting beliefs that I've dealt with over the past is doing a trust fall, writing down things that bother me or things that I think maybe are negative about me. Maybe when I was younger, like I can't lose weight. I have big bones. My family is large. I am large. Family history of alcoholism. So, how do I manage that? We all have something that's negative in our mind. I need 8 hours sleep, right? When probably you can function less. If you were going on holidays, you could get up early if you needed to. But we have these I can't run because I have a bad knee or a bad ankle. Like, we have these limiting beliefs. So one of the ways is to write whatever those negative thoughts are. And on the other side of the page, draw a line and draw it in a positive. I am good at computers. I can learn about computers. I can lose 10 pounds. I can run 1 kilometer to get myself going. Another way is to write those limiting beliefs and to write them down and throw them in a fireplace. Let them go out to space. Other people will pray or meditate on their limiting beliefs, but we need a way to determine what they are. And that can take some quiet time in nature, some grounding, walking barefoot in the grass. Sometimes just finding out what that thing that's bothering you, that feels that you're holding back. Um, but usually it's whenever you say the word I can't. All right. I can't, or I won't, I'm unable. Those are the words that usually are limiting beliefs, and you truly can. To be able to deal with these, to motivate ourselves, we have to be able to function even when we're not motivated. All right. Nobody is motivated 24/7, 365 days of the year. If it looks that way, that's just not true. I have so many patients that will say, how do you wake up so energetic? How are you so happy in the morning? How are you so get going? Guess what? I have morning routines. I get up at 4:30. I get my stretches going. I have stretches in the shower that I do. I have a routine in the morning to get myself going, my affirmations. And then I get to work. I need to be, 15 minutes, a half an hour before any patients arrive. Um, Routines to make sure that I'm organized. I'm physically, mentally, and spiritually ready to start my day. I don't just get up, get a coffee, rush to the car, and get going. We need to get up early. We need to prep the night before, have our clothes out, have our workout clothes prepped the night before. So setting up those routines and those de-stressors so that they're happening on a regular basis. And having a schedule for my exercise. You don't want to make sure I'm exercising at minimum 6 days a week. So there's set times and they're planned ahead of time. Every Sunday, I have a plan for the week. I use Sundays to do 15 minutes to an hour of prep time for the following week. So it's a matter of exercising the plan and not having to think daily of what's next. Includes things like food prep, making sure on Sunday you have your plan or your organization of how you're going to eat healthy throughout the week. You have those healthy snacks versus trying to stop at the gas station for a chocolate bar because you're starving. An example for me, a plan is I'll have sunflower seeds in the car so that way, if I am really hungry at the end of a long day, some of my days are 15, 16 hours. I make sure I have a healthy snack there so I'm not rushing to grab something unhealthy. We do need those pep talks. Those pep talks can be from friends, family, but of course, the best person to give us a pep talk is ourselves. Say, hey, you got this. You can do it. It's okay. It'll be better tomorrow. And if that's something that is not easy for you to give yourself a pep talk, to look in the mirror and just say, I love you, right? It's okay. I love you. You are loved. And say that to your own face. Write it down. Write it down and say them out loud. Even if you don't believe them, they will get easier and easier over time. So, as we're getting into number 3, they accept the challenges. We don't grow when things are easy. We grow when we manage those challenges. You think of sports, you fall, you get back up. You think of a child. I'm watching my nephew, Milo, learn to walk. And it's so cool to look at. He starts walking, then he crawls, or he starts thinking he can walk with the toy, but he decides to crawl. Lots of falls, lots of learning how to climb up to things. And then, how do I get back down? We have to be challenged in order to be able to grow and to make the best of ourselves. Even thinking of building muscles at the gym. You gotta stress your muscle. It hurts a little in order to grow that muscle. So we can't hide or complain from these challenges. Sometimes we actually want to welcome those challenges. So I was at a seminar just recently with Dr. Colin, and he said over the next 6 months, try and choose 6 things that you've never done before in order to grow, right? To challenge yourself. And I was so impressed with our team member. Rihanna, who's at our front desk, and she chose dirt biking. Whoa. In order to challenge herself, never dirt biked in past, chose to sign up for a lesson and learn how to dirt bike. I'm going to be doing stained glass coming up just shortly to learn again how to do stained glass and create artwork. What is something that you're not usually doing that you could challenge yourself to grow? It doesn't have to be in your work environment or your home environment. It can be something that's just been a whim, something you want to challenge. It maybe it's doing word puzzles. Maybe it's a 1,000-piece puzzle, right? Find something that you don't usually do to challenge your mind, and you will grow. And those little things that you accomplish help you feel good about yourself to accomplish the big things. Number 4, focusing on what we can control. There's so much in the world we can't control, whether it's digital currency, what's happening in the government. Literally, sometimes turn that TV off because it's a negative Nelly. You can't control it anyway. Certainly, you can't control the weather, so can't stress on the weather. Who cares what it is? You're having a good day anyway, regardless of the weather. And we focus on the one thing that we can control that day. Maybe that day is just getting the laundry done. Maybe that day is getting food shopping and healthy food prep for your vegetables and your salads. We focus on the one thing and then give ourselves a pat on the back when we've done it well. Number 5 is persevere, right? When we say the going gets tough, the tough get going. We're able to stick to our goals. So the first part is writing your goals down. I personally choose to write my goals down every in the month of December. I usually try to say they'll be done by the week of Christmas, by Boxing Day. I'll have written my goals down by the Boxing Day for the following year. I also recommend that you do yearly goals, 5-year goals, 10-year goals, and if able, 25-year goals. And you have the opportunity also just before Christmas to take your goals and do a big red check mark on the things you have achieved. Usually you'll have achieved 80% of what you've written down. So I write down my goals for all the different categories: mentally, spiritually, financially, education, vacation. I take the different categories, write it down, and I post it on my bathroom mirror where I brush my teeth. So one, I see it daily, and also my husband sees it daily, and it's available for my kids to see also. So an example of something small that I achieved is I just received my boating license. All of my kids, my husband have their boating license. We did get an a Sea-Doo, and I didn't have my boating license, so I wasn't driving it. I was always the passenger to watch the skier. And now that my kids moved out, one of my goals is to be able to support my husband in his sport of water skiing. So now I got the boating license. Next step is this summer, the goal is to learn how to properly pull a water skier. So what are your goals? Write them down, and that's how you're going to be able to achieve them. Now, to receive your goals, you do need a coach along the way, whether it's your chiropractor, whether it's your naturopath. It cannot be your spouse, and it cannot be your best friend. They are your cheerleaders. They're the ones that support you when you fall down and those challenges happen. But a coach is somebody that pushes you, that reminds you. So with Max Living, I have a coach. We have a business coach. I have a family coach. Choose somebody that's going to keep you accountable to those goals that you've written down. We need the coaching, and we need the cheerleader and the support person. Cheerleader, support person is usually somebody very close to you. Coach and person to push you a little is somebody who is not as close to you, that you stay in contact with, typically somewhere around once every 2 weeks to once a month. Number 6, sometimes it's okay to quit. It's okay to decide that enough is enough. All right. I know just recently I worked like crazy for the garden, but at a certain point, I got to say, I can't get it all done. It's okay to put that down for tomorrow. Same thing happens in the work environment. We can't, after, 13, 14, 15 hours, you're no good anymore. You need to put the baggage down, decide what's going to happen for tomorrow. Majority of the time, my team often finds that there's just so much paperwork that we have to be able to say, no, I'm passing that on to somebody else, or I need to be able to prioritize and organize. That's a tomorrow's job. It can't all get done. What is the main job? So we have to be able to admit uh, when things are too much, and where do we need to let the bags down for tomorrow. Also, when we're wrong, like we've made a mistake, it's okay. None of us are perfect, and we accept others' mistakes, others' learning points. As we add new staff, it's a 3 month process to learn the different positions in our team. We know that in that 3 months, they're going to make mistakes. They're not going to know where paperwork goes. They're not going to know all the right questions and all the right answers. It's okay. We want to make sure that sometimes some of our goals really weren't that important. We were motivated in the moment, but really it doesn't hit us in our heart. And maybe we strike that goal down and we focus on the main one thing. All right. So the main goal. So find out what that is for you and what are the smaller goals and prioritize those goals. It's all right to make a different choice. And sometimes that's the best choice ever. So I'll give you an example. In university, I really thought I wanted to be a psychiatrist. I, did all the courses through, got my degree in psychology at University of Toronto. I was aiming to be a psychiatrist, and then I started to spend. I had those severe migraines. A lot of time in the hospital. A lot of times addicted to drugs, and then had to get off of those uh, prescribed medications that were causing so many problems for me, and it rerouted me towards being a chiropractor. So that had been my second choice through university, but man, was it the best thing ever to drop that one goal of being a psychiatrist and realizing that I can still serve many families in a great way through chiropractic. Number 7, practice self care. So important. We talked about having those routines, getting your clothes out, but those self care doesn't have to be expensive. Maybe it's a set time a week for that bath, set time a week to give yourself a manicure, pedicure, set time a week to just read for 30 minutes of something of your choice, something that's going to grow you, whether mentally, but also maybe just emotionally. Sometimes I read those romance model books. They have nothing that's going to help me intellectually, maybe, but they fill my tank, fill my heart. So self care can be a walk, it can be grounding, it can be gardening, it can be meditation, it can be prayer. Self healing also makes sure that when you have kids, that's tough to do. So sometimes it has to be getting up early and having that 15 minutes. It doesn't have to be hours and hours. That 15 minutes to just for yourself when the house is quiet. Another time might be just a 15-minute nap or 15 minutes just to lay down, close your eyes if you're not a napper, just to be able to give yourself that quiet time to shut your brain down and put the baggage down. Of course, with self care, that means taking care of your spine and your spinal care, removing those areas of subluxation, that interference from your brain to the rest of your body. So, getting your regular chiropractic adjustments, taking care of your nutrition planning. You can get help with that with our nutritionist, our naturopath. Planning a massage once a week, that's just an hour for you. Planning your exercise in order to know that that's a priority. The stronger you are, the more you can carry. So, self care for number 7. Number 8 is knowing your priorities and finding a way to shuffle those priorities to make sure you know what's number 1. So, if you're doing a to do list, put numbers beside them so that you know what's a priority. For me, a lot of times I need to get like 3 or 4 things done, or the easy things done, so that I can focus on the big, the big thing, the big frog, sometimes they call it. So, for example, this morning I knew I wanted to, I wanted to get a ton done, throw the laundry in, right? Just get that started, right? Then it's the next step. Get the dishes out of the sink, and then next step, clean the kitchen. Now I have a clean environment. I focus on the big one that I need to do that day. So what are sometimes the prioritizing, knowing what's the one thing that's the most important thing that day. Most of us can choose three things, and when you've accomplished three things, two small that you can get done, get that feel good feeling, and then go to the big one and take steps towards it. Number 9, remember I told you there's lots here, write them down. Think of just one of these that you can focus on this day. And this one is creating that environment. And so I talked to you about getting the laundry done, getting the area clean, but a lot of times it's also uh, getting rid of distractions. So our phones are huge distractions, lots of negativity, lots of stuff that you really don't need. I know you want to see your cousin's pictures or your niece or nephew's pictures on Facebook, or you want to catch up with the recent news. Put the phone away. The phone, that information will be there tomorrow. So have set times for your phone. Typically for me, I choose sort of half an hour in the morning or 15 minutes in the morning, half an hour in the evening. Every day I have set times and a set time to put the phone down. Um, for me, with respect to food, I love food, right? And so the cookies, the junk food, just don't have it in your house or have it something that is not visible for you. Or for me, especially my parents in law, they make so many good treats. I can't have one. Once I have one, once I open that door, I'm having 10 of those yummy homemade cookies or butter tarts or pies, whatever that they make. So it's easier just to say no to everything. Um, this doesn't mean you're weak. This makes you strong to be able to set that environment for healing. Same as I talked about, just getting your exercise clothes out, making sure your runners are by the door, whatever you need to do to make sure that walk is a priority. Texting that friend that you'll be there tomorrow, having a commitment with somebody else for your exercise routine. That helps us stay having the best results. For example, if you're doing food prep, make sure you have those glass containers ready to go so that it makes it so much easier for you to get the best results. Number 10 is helping others. That's how you fill your tank. Volunteer, support others. We do these talks every single week for free. It's one of the ways to fill my tank, to give back to others. Love helping breastfeeding moms. Have been doing that for 20 years as a way of volunteering, giving back. Coaching a friend, helping for me, young students, future chiropractors is a passion of mine. So it keeps your spirit high, it keeps your tank high, helping those younger, new employees at your work, helping coaching your kids, helping just providing snacks for the team. Doing things to give back will fill your tank and help you manage suffering better. Number 11 is that gratitude time. We all have blessings. If we have a home, if we have a car, if we're able to walk, we have blessings. Focusing on those to give us a clearer perspective of what's happening. So writing down a gratefulness list. 3 things every day. Put a gratefulness dollar store book beside your bed. The sheer fact of writing it down will help you. You can look back at it, and it just helps set your tone to get a better night's sleep. Having an opportunity to have the things that you're grateful, maybe posting again where you brush your teeth, something that you see regularly, put it on the fridge door. But it's so easy to get thinking about the negativity, the whining, the challenges. We need a reset. And sometimes that reset is just like push it away, wax off, push it away so we focus on what is good and we can start our day with enthusiasm. I start my day with my affirmation of I'm ready to give, I'm ready to serve, I'm ready to love, I'm ready to give, I'm ready to serve. I say that every single morning to set the tone for my day. Number 12, we're almost there. Reflecting on the past. These are opportunities to learn. None of us are perfect. We will make mistakes. How do we handle it better the next day? Um, and we're constantly doing that, learning a computer system better. We're learning at the office, how do we reserve extra time for patients when they need it? How do we code that in the computer? How do we make sure the whole team knows that the doctor is going to be in that room longer so that other people aren't feeling like they're waiting? So how do we manage that with our kids? How do we manage that with our sports? How do we manage that with our parents? or other family says, how do we reflect on the things that maybe we said wrong, but we could say better in the future? So learning those lessons helps us be better for the upcoming challenges that come our way. Number 13 is it's okay to ask for help. None of us have it easy all the time. None of us have the answers all the time. So that's why I have a chiropractic coach, but I'm easily able to go to my husband. He tons of time has this amazing memory. In our office, we have 4 doctors. We constantly review x-rays together in order to have more brains working together to provide the best care for our patients. This is not the situation where we need to know all the answers or we always had to know how to do things all by ourselves. If you're building a fence, you're building a garden, it's okay to ask for help. Number 14 is it's okay to have a down day. Give ourselves the permission to cry, to have the opportunity of having a bad mood day. It's okay to tell your family, listen, I'm having a tough day today. Just give me some space. Even to a coworker, you know what? I'm not feeling my best today. I'll give you an example. Eric at our office just had a couple of days of no voice at all. The team had dealt with the patients, he dealt with the paperwork, and as a team, we were able to function better and provide the best care possible without people worrying if he was sick. He just had no voice. So, how do you manage the great moments too? I know when I'd watch my kids skate, I'd easily cry because I was just so proud of them, and the kids would laugh at me and go, "Oh, mom," you know. For me to put on a romance movie, easily would cry just at the happy moments, but they always laugh at me because I just look forward to that kiss at the end. So it's okay to be mushy sometimes. For men and women, it's all right. To show our emotions rather than bottling up actually allows us to build those relationships that much stronger and allows us to have more energy for the next day. And sometimes it's just a matter of screaming in your car, and that helps you manage your health and mental health that much better as well. Number 15, man, these are tough. How do you stay flexible? And the best way is to have more than one plan. And give you an example where I did this badly. With my daughter, I planned a home birth. Absolutely wanted to plan a home birth, had everything organized with the um, midwives. I knew everything was going to go great. My baby had been breached, did chiropractic care, did acupuncture, which is the acupressure, and I was able to turn her so she was head down, did a few adjustments, boom, I felt it. She went back, head up, breach, ended up doing ultrasound, low amniotic fluid. I was like, they wanted me to have a C-section right away. I was like, no way, that's not my plan, right? Try to figure out how I could flip the baby, get the amniotic fluid back on my own, and I just couldn't control that. Needed to go back to have a emergency C-section, out of my control, and I literally was shaking um, because I couldn't control the environment. It was everything that I didn't want. When it came to my son's second delivery, planning a VBAC home birth, but I had a plan B. What if something goes wrong? What's the next step? So whether it's having a baby, planning, food for the night, and your kids hate what you prepared, whether it's driving, and all of a sudden you hit a traffic jam and you use Waze to get around that traffic. You have a work environment and things flop. What's plan B? So making sure that we're flexible, but we've also prepared in advance a plan A, a plan B, a plan C, so we can adapt quickly to the next plan. So many times that our first plan doesn't go well, but that's because it maybe wasn't the best thing going and it wasn't the best choice in the first place. We need to be able to drop it and go to the next plan. So we talked about 15 ways. I hope you wrote those down to be mentally strong. And the best thing about those is that it doesn't make things perfect, but it puts us into the optimal state to handle the challenges, the difficulties that are guaranteed to come your way. So I'm going to review those 15 to help you with writing those down. We talked about number 1, detaching ourselves from the situation. Number 2, finding ways to motivate ourselves. At number three, accepting the challenge, getting excited for the challenge. Number four, focusing on the things that you can control. Number five, persevering with those goals, having them written down. Number six, knowing when to quit, and that's okay. Number seven, practicing that self care. Get your regular massages, your adjustments, your routines for your exercise. Number eight, knowing your priorities, and it's okay to change those priorities. Number nine, set up your environment for success. Number 10, volunteer and give back. Fill up that heart, fill up that tank. Number 11, focus on your blessings and our gratitude time. Number 12, the past and those challenges are opportunities to learn. Number 13, create your support system. Be okay with asking for help and just saying, I'm having a tough day or a tough week. It's okay to cry. Number 14, it's okay to have emotions, to scream in your car, not at your kids or your partner, but to have a tough time, to let those emotions out is great. Number 15 is to stay flexible, adapt. So, as we're moving into managing these tough times, of course, we need to manage our stress. We're going to have stress. How do we manage it? Definitely by taking care of your spine and your nervous system and getting that proper posture. When we're stressed, we tend to hunch, we tense up our shoulders, we tense up our stomachs, our digestion goes off. So, as chiropractors, we help your brain and body connect better to be the healthiest possible. So, when there are those areas of subluxation, twists, turns, pressure on our bodies. You may not even feel it. You may not know where those subluxations are because they can be painless. But what we feel is fatigue, lack of energy, poor digestion, constipation, diarrhea, lack of appetite or increased appetite, lack of focus, memory seems down. This is the time to get an adjustment, at least get a checkup with your local chiropractor to make sure your brain is functioning at its very best. The research is extensive on finding and removing subluxations to help the spine and nervous system and your brain function better. So, when you look at the nervous system, you will see here nerves control your heart, your lungs, your digestion. It controls your hormones, your cortisol response, and how you have a stress response and how you maintain it, but also even your endorphins, those excited rushes to feel energized each day. So, as we leave, I recommend you get those checkups. At our office, we offer complimentary meet and greets to see if that's for you, if you're getting the right care, if this is something to add to your team. So, on our team, we have massage therapy, we have chiropractic, we have physiotherapy, we have naturopaths, nutritionists, and kinesiologists. We're here to work as a team to serve you. So, love all these amazing hints. Remember, just write one down. Start with one. One this week. What can we do? What can we prep better the night before? Maybe that one thing is putting your clothes out the night before for your workout clothes, your runners, and your work clothes that day. So that's just one decision you do not need to make in the morning. Upcoming, we want you to get one more thing each week. Share these with family. This comes from our heart to give back to you. So we have information on being hungry. We will have our Bring a Coworker Day. That's an opportunity for savings to help your coworkers so they're less stressed. They'll be easier to work with. So any of your stressed out workers, send them our way. We'd love to help them in the week of June. Um, Tristan has done a hip flexor mobility workout. You do that with no equipment, can do it on your floor, on your bed. We will have our talk on natural ways to reduce pain, manage arthritis. That one you do have to register at front desk because there is limited space for that. And we will have one on building muscle. So stay tuned with us and please do a review. We really want to give back to you. But as you do those reviews, that helps others because that's how they judge us. So we have lots of information on all these different ways from Instagram to Facebook to our website. There's hundreds of talks on our website. We love being with you. We wish you the best this week. And remember, start with just one thing.